What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Pack a Pod. Ladies and gentlemen, Black Ops 6 Zombies is here. We are back, and we are excited. We've had just about a week to play. All of us have been deep in the trenches, getting our hands all over the new Black Ops 6 Zombies. We've had a week to get into it. We've had a week to formulate our thoughts, and there's going to be some surprising thoughts, I think, here. There's a lot of stuff we got to get to, so I say without further ado, we get straight into it. We're not going to give our overall thoughts at the beginning. What we're going to do is go through all the different bullet points of brand new items, brand new things, gameplay, all that kind of stuff, and then at the very end highlight what we think and what we feel about Black Ops 6 Zombies. And I think the first thing we got to start off here with is the gameplay. Now, it's been 4 years since we've had a round-based zombies experience, and Black Ops 6 had a very long time to come together and create that. And what the initial thought, I think, is so far is that it feels eerily similar to Black Ops Cold War. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say if that's a good or bad thing. I think that's really up to interpretation. But I will say the biggest thing about that for me is in between different versions of Call of Duty Zombies, I feel like for the most part, every game had its own individual feel to it. And whatever that may have been, you may have liked it, you may have hated it, at least it had its own feel. I think it's a little bit of a letdown. And I like Black Ops 6 so far, but it is a little bit of a letdown to not have its own original style. I don't know what you guys think about that, but as far as just gameplay goes, I think we could all agree it plays very similar to Black Ops Cold War.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, definitely it does. And I mean, I agree that it doesn't really have its own vibe to it and its own feel, but I don't know. I didn't really expect that at this point. I kind of felt that the guys at Treyarch pretty much knew the direction that it was going to go. They gave us half of what we wanted, half of what we didn't want. So I wasn't really surprised by the feel of it.
Jay, I wanted to throw it on down to you because when we started this show, we had said that, we hadn't played a whole lot of Cold War. We hadn't gotten our hands wet with it a lot. We did play it a little bit before Black Ops 6 came out, but just your overall thoughts and feel on just the gameplay so far.
I mean, for the Cold War stuff, it definitely feels like, honestly, to me, a Cold War DLC. Like, I don't feel like there was any major innovations that make it feel drastically different. So if you don't like Cold War, I feel like you're not going to like BO6. Like, I feel like all the people who are coming back to Zombies that are like the BO2, BO3 diehards from back in the day, if you didn't like Cold War, this game probably isn't for you. I like it. I think it's fun. I still prefer BO3 and like some of the stuff that is featured in that game. But so I agree with the stuff about how it doesn't have its own feel when it comes to Cold War, because it all the systems, all like the innovations that happened from Cold War are basically carried over. And I can't really think of anything outside of like sort of like kind of improving upon the formula that feels drastically different from Cold War, honestly.
Jumbo, your thoughts?
I haven't played Cold War at all, so this actually was quite a bit of it was a fresh experience for me. I was even we were in the Discord call, I'm always asking questions and you guys have all the answers, which was funny on day one because of the fact that you guys had played Cold War. So maybe that's a testament to show how similar it was. You guys knew what to kind of do with that already as I was learning. Comparing it to the previous games, playing up until only Black Ops 3, because I haven't even played Black Ops 4, for example, either. It's interesting. I'm having a lot of fun with it. But the gameplay, I'm trying to wrap my head around how it's difficult in its own way, right? There's a lack of fear. I don't feel like I'm ever kind of worried about how difficult the game is. Has been my big thing with the gameplay.
So on that, real fast, I do want to say that's one of my biggest critiques of Cold War and BO6 is when I used to load up old Zombies. I even a couple weeks ago loaded up the old Xbox and played Black Ops 1 Call of the Dead. And those old games, there is a fear aspect that you have. I'm playing by myself. George Romero's chasing my ass. The map is tight quarters. I get 2 hits and I'm dead. So it's like there is this just built-in fear and like nervousness that you have. Like I always feel kind of on edge playing old zombies, especially solo. And in Cold War and BO6, I just don't feel that. And I feel like it's simply because of the fact, first off, because like Liberty Falls doesn't really, I know they said they changed the atmosphere. It just feels like a normal town during the day. So like the atmosphere doesn't really pitch into that. But Terminus, I think, does have the atmosphere. But the simple fact that there's so many times where I feel like in old CODs, I die there. Instead, I somehow squeeze my way through the horde that I shouldn't. And also you can tank so many hits that you don't really feel at risk for a large portion of the game.
Kyle, your thoughts on it?
I would say it's around the same. I feel like the gameplay is fun. The only thing I really don't like is how many bullets you got to shove into somebody just to kill one person. And to me, just feels like really tedious. So, I mean, and then I feel like because they only have 2 shotguns in this, where in Cold War I think they had like 4. And shotguns were a lot more powerful back then. And since they changed the point system to you get points off kills rather than just shooting people, I feel like just the amount of shots you have to get down just to kill one person, especially in the later rounds, just kind of feels tedious. And like because the maps are so open, you're not worried like about circling or like, running around the zombies. You're just kind of like, it's whatever. And then like Jay said, you can tank so many hits. It's like, even if I do get caught, like I could still get out of it. And like, I also get a self revive. So like, if I do go down, like I'm immediately back up and like I maybe lost 1 or 2 perks. Like I'm not losing everything. It just seems like I do like that aspect though, because if you go like down and you full die, the game becomes like astronomically harder when you're in the late rounds, because there's no like coming back basically. Like you're so strapped for points that unless somebody drops you a triple packed gun on round 30, you're not killing shit. You're not getting any points. You're kind of hung out to dry. So that's how I feel about the whole thing.
To that point, like a couple things you said there, yeah, I feel like my like point of view going forward is gonna get skewed with this game, because like the last like 2-3 days I've been exclusively using the Mustang and Sally and then snipers, so I kill everything in like 1 or 2 shots. Like I'm not even like experiencing the bullet sponge nature. But then the other thing, like what you were saying there, is like also there's just so much things to get you out of trouble. Like, oh, I'm stuck in a corner. I mean, not only am I tanking hits, but pull out your wonder weapon, hit like your quick like specialist thing and drop the little electric beam, clears out the entire horde in the area, pop a kill streak. Like I got so many options where it's like before it was like I had to switch to my thunder gun, and if I don't switch to that thunder gun in time, I'm dead. And it's like other than like, but here I just have so many different options to get myself out of a sticky situation.
Yeah, I feel that 100%, because like with the specialists and everything, you just have so many get out of jail free cards that it just doesn't, there's not that fear in you unless you like literally run out of every get out of jail free card and you're like, all right, well,
And there's
I guess
so
I'm
many
just
of them.
dead now. Like,
But even
Yeah.
then, like I was just playing a game before we started this. I'm on round 48, and like I have enough crafting metals, like or salvage there, that I just keep crafting mutant injections. So it's like, and then I kill like 4 or 5 manglers, and I might get another mutant injection, and if not, like I got like 5 sitting in the vault right now. So like I have so many like right now.
I think that might be like the high round strat, is just running mutant injections and just going crazy until
pretty
you
sure
get
it
to
is.
like
Yeah.
some high ass round.
No, it is. And I was actually going to say, I don't love that, because it feels like the kill streaks are basically the only... Wyatt and I played a duos game last night, and we got to round 51, I think. And at one point, Wyatt lags out. I give him I drop my triple-packed AS Val, and he basically, even with the triple-packed Val, can't kill anything. So he can't gain points. So, like, the higher the round is, you basically become a wonder weapon and kill streak crutch, which I don't love. And it's because there's so many boss zombies, because all the zombies have, like, armor and all that shit now. Like, the only way to kill everything is with the super OP stuff. Your gun becomes essentially useless when you get to like the 40s. And I think I understand why, because that kind of happens in old zombies too. Like BO3, the only reason it didn't happen is because the AATs are like stupid overpowered. But I just kind of wish it wasn't as oppressive, because like you said, Kyle, when you like full die, it's basically impossible to reset. And I don't really like that. I don't like the fact that you get 25,000 points or whatever when you spawn in at some of these later rounds. But like double packing a gun, what does that do for you? You can't kill anything, so you can't get points, which means you can't buy perks, and then you can't triple pack the gun, or you can't hit the box and get a wonder weapon. So like you're useless. Like what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like so you basically can't die, which does add like a hard factor to it. But I don't
think it's the hard factor that's like a skill thing, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like in Black Ops 3, for example, if you died and needs to respawn and you grab like a weapon off the wall, there's like an ability for you to use your skill to keep just dumping mags into the zombies and surviving as long as you can to get the points to be able to reset. Where it's
and
like
you might
now,
not kill them, but you'll get the points for shooting them.
But but you have to survive, and you have to be good to survive at that level. Now you could survive, you just unfortunately can't do anything about it, because like you'll even like especially if you drop some on a triple pack weapon and you're not getting a lot of kills, you can't even buy ammo for it. It's like 5k for ammo, so it's like there's just nothing you do. What do? Go down to something where you could buy ammo for? You're just never going to kill the zombie. How long do you run in circles? So the result is you just end up getting kill streaks.
Yeah, or you do what me, Richie, and Wyatt did when we played on Cold War on Mauer, which is you pick up a combat axe and for 30 minutes you're just running around throwing that shit at zombies, picking it back up and keep throwing it. And so that's one thing that I really don't love about the Cold War like system, which once again BO6 is just pulls all that in, is the guns become an afterthought when you get to like higher rounds, and higher rounds are so easy to get to that's going to happen like every game, but there's not enough wonder weapons to go around. Like you basically have to have the ray gun or the jet gun or the beam smasher or whatever it is. You got to have like the OP gun, and that's the only way that you can kill shit later. So
yeah, it feels like with the sorry, Kyle, with the Cold War system. I will say this about Black Ops 6: they definitely improved upon it. I think in Cold War they dropped a ton of shit every time you killed zombies. It was almost like
there was the two types of salvage. One of them's for like the armor, one of them's for your guns, and it was too complex. It was a lot. There was all this other shit.
It was a lot, and they improved upon that. They cleaned that up a little bit. They also made it to where I think that this is another thing Cold War did, I think, really well, was they made the ray gun good again, and they made wonder weapons like valuable. And in some of those other Call of Duties, like some of those wonder weapons were obviously garbage, and they just didn't help a whole lot. And so I like that. But I think the biggest miss that they've made, and there's two that come to mind, is number one, this one ties to Jayhawk's fear factor. It wasn't necessarily fear when you load into the map as like, oh, the map is scary. It's the fear of like, I need to get set up like now, because if I don't have things in place by like round, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, you're going to die because it's 2 hits and you're dead. They've taken that away. And what that's also done as a byproduct is made perks feel way less needed. That one game Jayhawk was talking about where we were getting it to like 50 something, I realized at 30 something that I didn't even have Juggernaut yet. I don't love that. Like I need the perks to feel a little bit more viable. They need to feel like I need to have them rather than it's like, oh, okay, I guess I'll get it now. I don't love that part of it. And then also is the second part, which is the points thing. It comes down to skill, just like Jumba said. If you load into a BO3, BO2, BO1 map and you're trying to fight and you're getting the... I think BO2 was based on kills too, wasn't it? Or no?
No.
Am I mistaken on it?
It
was all points?
It changed on Black Ops 4. That's when it became kills.
That's when it became. Yeah, so that's the tough part is... In those games, there was a skill factor to loading in. Even if you just had a pistol, you were able a lot of times to be able to pack a punch it immediately and then be able to get the points to eventually set yourself up for the rest of the game. And a lot of times in those games, they don't give you a whole lot of money when you spawn back in, and it makes it to where you're learning how to properly move zombies throughout the map while you also traverse the map. And in some of those maps, it's harder than others because it's way more closed off. They've taken that away, and I think the biggest misstep is the points thing. The points thing at the end of the day makes this the most frustrating because it just makes it, if you die past round 40 something, I would say let's just say 40, you might as well just start a new game because
you're not helping.
You're not helping. And the one game Jay was talking about earlier where I lagged out and then came back in, we tried 2 separate rounds where Jay was like, okay, go ahead and pack a punch your knife and get melee macchiato. I do that, and it's okay. It works for a second, but then I die, obviously. And then the next round, it was like, okay, I'm going to drop you my AS Val. Go ahead and try that. I tried that. Obviously, you can't get a kill, and I can't get any points, so that goes nowhere. And the third time I come back, I'm like, you know what, dude? I'm just going to try to get the Thrustodine. I get the Thrustodine, and then I'm able to stabilize, and I was able to survive for a long time. And, I think we ended up dying on 52, whatever. But I was able to do it just purely based off the Wonder Weapon. And I don't really love that moving forward. I don't like that for the direction of what Black Ops 6 is going to be. Because I like the change that they made with making the Wonder Fizz not appear till after round 25. That makes sense. Maybe you do something similar with the points. I don't know. Make it to where there's after a certain round or something where you can start gaining a little bit more points here or there. That would be nice. I also think the bonus points feature, when you get bonus points, should scale based on the round you're on, because I'm pretty sure it just gives you 1,000. I don't think it gives you anything
Not even
more than
500.
that.
Is it not?
Yeah, it's 500.
It's less than that?
500.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's that going to do? That's worse than the Carpenter perk on the old games after round whatever. You might as well add that in there. I think those are the biggest missteps in the gameplay.
That's another thing, by the way.
overall.
Okay, maybe it sounds stupid because barriers don't matter after a certain round, but I missed barriers. Do you know how many windows I run up to going, am I sure I can't rebuild a barrier here? Cause what? I was that's it just feels like a whole core part of the gameplay that's been removed. Maybe it's because they're too outdoor maps. It doesn't really matter. But do you guys remember the thing I talked about? In one of the previous pods, I talked about how Noctur and Toten felt like you wanted to keep zombies out of the map. Mm-hmm. And again, that doesn't really ever happen with all the maps, but it feels like, at least in those early rounds, same with that fear stuff, you're doing whatever you can to keep the zombies away from you. Here you just kind of have to accept wherever they come from. And I was going to say, even with high round strategies, it doesn't make the game any harder, but I have no idea. The zombies could just spawn in from anywhere, literally anywhere, right? Which, it's not hard because there's so much open space, so you can still just group them up, and then just get them in a train. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like you used to be able to stand in a spot, know where all the zombies were coming, and then do your path. Now I just kind of just wait in the open and then start running around.
I feel like it takes away a big gameplay style too, which a lot of people loved for zombies, which was camping. I know that's not really what we would do, but it is a big style of gameplay that people would utilize, and they even realized that in Black Ops 4 when they had one of the perks, I think was the tortoise perk or whatever it was. You can
Scavenger. It's Scavenger, isn't it?
Stonehold. No, what was it? Stonehold Stronghold or something like that?
Yeah,
There's one where if you just
Stronghold.
sat still, you got some benefit.
Yeah,
I thought Vulture
you got
did that
damage
too.
buff when you sat still.
Yeah, but
It
that's
created a
BO3.
room.
Black Ops 4 had a different one that was literally if you sit still, you do more damage or some shit.
Yeah, it would lock down. But they've taken that away because, once again, after a certain round, your guns just basically don't do anything. And I guess you could technically sit somewhere with the Thrustodine, but you're not going to do that. There's no dead ends. For the most part. Even in the one area I was running a lot in Liberty Falls next to the bowling alley, you can just walk up the ramp of cars and then you're back at the spawn. There's no place where you can kind of just get caught or locked down. You would think in a map with a bowling alley that it'd be a little bit more tighter quarters in there. It's not. It's all, you can run through all the lanes. It's pretty wide open. They've taken away a big area of gameplay, which was camping. And I get that. I think the community has outgrown certain aspects of zombies, but that one I think you should at least be able to have something like that in there to where you can camp a little bit.
Yeah. Also, I just wanted to go back to what we were talking about earlier. I feel like in Black Ops 3, when you died and you came back, you had like a chance because you kept getting points for shooting zombies. In this, when you have to kill things, it takes away that entirely, which puts like way more heavier weight on reviving your teammates, which I think is like maybe their ultimate goal is like maybe you don't want to die like as a team, like you literally can't let your friend die. Like you have to come back and revive them. And so, and that puts a lot of pressure on the rest of the team when somebody goes down. But you know, they also limited, I figured this out the other day, they limited the amount of self-revive kits you can buy in a game. So you can only buy 3 in a game. So, and after that, you can no longer get them. So it's kind of like, unless a zombie drops it on the floor, then you can pick it up. But you can only craft 3 in a game. So it makes that aspect so much harder. And I think you have to kind of like use those sparingly. So I think as you go forward, you have to like be more conscious about where your teammates are and be like, I have to revive them now. It's like, otherwise when they come back, they're not going to have shit. And the other thing is in Cold War, the reason why it was kind of okay if you went down and you came back was the shotguns were fucking overpowered as hell. They were so crazy good that you could just buy a shotgun, pack that thing twice, and it was still killing things. In this one, there's only 2 shotguns, and I haven't played all the way through to where like you level the shotguns up all the way, and maybe there's some attachment that makes them overpowered.
No, there's not, because I triple packed a shotgun and it was ass.
Yeah, so I mean, like they haven't done that aspect. So it's like, you know, what do I do? Like run a sniper rifle and triple pack that, and like even then, I mean, I gotta hit headies or else like I'm gonna die too. So I don't know what the strat is as far as that is, but it kind of feels like no matter what, when you come back, there's just no way to be able to regroup.
Right.
It's a lot of pressure on you being able to revive your teammates.
Which I think is fine. I think it's a good thing that there is added pressure to like, okay, you don't want to die, because obviously in a zombies mode, that should kind of be the standard, right? Is like, we don't die. But at the same time, I feel like they've gone too far in the direction of, like, if you have 4 people in the game, to my knowledge, on, say, Liberty Falls, you can get the jet gun from the box, you can craft it, and then you can get the ray gun. And maybe you can get 2. But even at some point, the ray gun becomes bad. Like, and the issue is when the guns become bad, the cost of buying ammo outweighs the amount of points you are going to get from killing the zombies with your gun. So you're literally losing money by buying ammo. And so the only way at that point to sustain yourself is have the jet gun, which only 2 people, I believe, can have at one point, or kill streaks. That's it. And that's the one thing that I don't love about the late game, because it feels like, okay, if one of you guys dies and we're playing with 4 players, we have to revive you. But even then, let's say we keep reviving you and make sure you don't die, but you don't have a wonder weapon, at some point you will become useless. And then all you are good to the team for is your salvage, buying a chopper gunner or a mangler, and then you turn into that thing and you kill a bunch of zombies, and then you maybe use those points for ammo, you dump it all, waste all of it, because max ammo is like never spawn in this game either.
Yeah, okay, I wasn't the only one that felt that.
I think it's because they just want you to buy ammo. They want you to buy ammo.
I thought that was just a me thing. I'm like, am I never getting max ammo? It's like, one max ammo for every 15 max armors.
Yeah, they like never spawn. So that's what I'm saying. What frustrates me is like, I like the game until we reach that point where it's jet gun, kill streak, or bust. Because even on Terminus, I think the Beam Smasher is actually a little underpowered. I think it should be better than it is. I think the jet gun is far superior to it. Also, the fact that the jet gun has unlimited ammo is huge. Because the Beam Smasher takes way longer to kill, and it doesn't have unlimited ammo. So you run into that same problem where at some point buying the ammo for that is too costly, so you're just resort to kill streaks. And I just don't love that gameplay loop personally. I think they should try to. It's weird because like I don't want them to make the game easier, but I do want them to make it where it's viable to survive without just spamming chopper gunners. You know what I mean?
It
Yeah,
seems
I
like
feel that.
Yeah, it seems like almost they made the game not so much more difficult, just as fucking annoying. So it's just annoying more than anything.
Yeah, it's like I was thinking about this earlier, and it seems like what they thought. And I mean, obviously, I'm not in those rooms, but the vibe I'm getting from it is, it looks like what they traded out was like, hey, we've had zombies out for a long time. We already know that there's a core group of players who are already going to understand and know how to survive and be good in the early game. So what we're going to do is trying to make it really fucking hard for the late game. And no, just because it's been out for so long, most people who've played zombies since, even you could even say like Black Ops 3, they're going to know how to survive up to like around 20, around 25, around 30. It's those later rounds where it seems like they were like, we want to make this a very, very difficult play past round like 40. And it seems like they've done that. The way that they've done it, though, is not my favorite way to do it, just because it's just like you said, at a certain point you just don't even want to load back in. Like, you're sitting there and your friend's trying to survive and you're like, there's no point in me loading back in. I think you never want to reach that point,
Yeah.
I agree, but like the thing is, I still think the late rounds are easy. I just think they're easy for the wrong reasons, which is the score streaks, right? Because like, as we're saying, like, yeah, they made it really difficult, but then there's just an out, and so it's like it's hard for the wrong reasons. It's the simplest way to put it.
But because I think you're saying that because you're playing solo. When you start playing more players, bro,
squads.
You literally, like I said, you become useless, and the only viability you have if you don't have the jet gun, and because once again the ray gun becomes useless at some point, the beam smasher becomes useless at some point, is if you don't have salvage, you are worth nothing.
Then
you're literally just running around. And then like when Wyatt and I are playing that game, the moment I went down and Wyatt has the jet gun and I was like, I have jack shit now, I was like, I don't even need to be here anymore. Like, I should just quit the game, honestly, because I can't get enough points to get anything useful. I don't know how to build the jet gun yet, so I can't go get that on myself. And I have no salvage. So, and I can't kill anything, so I can't get any salvage to get a chopper gunner. So I'm sitting here running around in circles, waiting for him to be like, chopper gunner here. I get the chopper gunner, and then I kill them. So it's like, why am I even here? What's the point of me playing the game anymore? So, and that's what Wyatt's saying. You don't want to be in that position where you're that person, because then it just becomes like sucky. You just want to end the game. You can get to high rounds. Like I said, I just think the game's built for solo, because you can get your jet gun, you can just spam your kill streaks, you can get to high rounds easy. The moment you got 4 people, it's just not as viable,
Now, from all this gameplay and the stuff we've talked about here, we have seemed like we're very negative and sour on the game. But this is just kind of, I think this was good that we kind of listed off things that we really didn't like. I kind of want to go back and go on to the other side. Do you have another thing?
Before we move to the positives, we have to talk about the one thing that the community has universally acknowledged, which is the boss spam is utterly ridiculous. First off,
you got to stop.
It annoys me that we brought back the Manglers. They started in Black Ops 3. They brought them back. Hold on, I wrote it down. Every game that the Manglers have existed in, because it is absurd how often they bring them back. They brought them back in every single map on Cold War. They brought them back in Vanguard. They brought them back in Modern Warfare Zombies, and they brought them back in Modern Warfare 3 Open World Zombies, and now they're back for the 6th time in Black Ops 6. Why can't we come up with new boss zombies? Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, it was always new boss zombies. Now it's just bringing back the Manglers? Why? Why do we have to bring back the Manglers?
And on both maps again already, right?
On
both
both
Terminus
maps, yeah.
and Liberty Fault. If zombies are supposed to, they introduced fat zombies. I don't know if they were in Cold War, but this is the first
so
time I've been
fat.
seeing
No,
fat
they were
zombies,
not. They were
right?
not in Cold War.
So like,
These are new.
If they're trying to represent, like what the population of people are, if they're the ones that turn into zombies, I don't know that many guys that are that big that it could be turned into Manglers. That being said, poor Wyatt out here doesn't have anyone representing guys who are under 5'5". Like
Yeah,
it's
what the
crazy.
hell is this? What the hell is this? I need some short kings out there.
Yeah.
But no, go. Yeah,
So,
just go ahead.
The Manglers, like, I liked them on Garad Crovey. I didn't feel like there was too many of them. I didn't feel like their shot was, like, too overpowered. I feel like on BO6 is a polar opposite. They spam the shit out of them. They're homing shot when there's 5 of them all around you. They all shoot you and you just die. And now you're pissed because it doesn't feel like you actually did anything wrong. there's just so many of them. They're absolute bullet sponges. Oh, by the way, on Liberty Falls, they also brought back the Abomination, which was in Cold War as well. So they just brought back another boss zombie. Yeah, and all the Abomination is, too, is just a mini Margwa, which is another uncreative direction. Like, I dislike the lack of creativity when it comes to boss zombies currently, and I dislike the fact that they spam the shit out of them because, once again, it doesn't feel like I'm losing because I'm bad at the game. It feels like I'm losing because I just don't have the capability of killing them without a kill streak once we get the high rounds.
Only new boss zombie is the Amalgam, which is
dear
like
God.
how much ammo did you? I was using the beam smasher on like round 24 double packed, and I could not kill the fucking Amalgam.
I would use
so much health.
I would use this the injection, and I would have to just sit there and just fucking swing on that dude for a solid half of the time that I would be
In the injection.
Yeah, and that was not fun, especially because at that point you're getting 2 of them, if not 3, and then you also have to sit and fight off probably what we had, I think 8.
We had 8 one time.
Yeah.
Like,
Bro, I saw a clip on Twitter of somebody having 12 manglers in front of them at the same time. 12.
and do you guys feel like they always group up together? I feel like I'm always running around and I look and they're standing next to each other. I was like, there's no way they didn't spawn. They all spawned right in that window. Like, what?
They're best pals, bro. They all hop out the same window. Like they pulled up in the same car. They're like, this is the spot. Let's fucking go ruin this guy's day. And let's talk about too the fact that I'm sure this will get fixed at some point. But after round 40, and if you've hit the box a decent amount of times, their shot goes invisible.
Yes,
so you can't even see
that, bro.
On that, I think that's just the game's poorly optimized because I don't think that's a zombie-specific issue. I've told you guys, like, on multiplayer, my frames are shit. I can't, like, on other games, I'm getting 240. All of a sudden, on Call of Duty multiplayer, where there's 6 people per team on a tiny-ass map, Apex, huge map, Battle Royale, 60 people, Warzone, previous CODs, like, optimized. This one, I'm, like, struggling to get 140 frames, and I think the game, I hope they fix it. Because that annoys me, and I think that's just part of the problem, is when you get to the later rounds, there's so much stuff the game is loading in, and they try to crank the graphics so much and all that stuff, that, you don't see your ray gun shots, you don't see them shooting you, like, all that stuff disappears.
Yeah, there was even a point where, because me and Jumbo were trying to do the Dark Ops challenge where you have to get every single gun out of the box, which is also bugged, by the way, but then you couldn't see the beam in the sky to see where the box was, and it's like, it's little stuff. That is, but the mangler shot is not, because we were on round 30 something, and I'm telling Jumbo, I'm like, dude, I'm trying to run from these manglers. I can't see their shot. I say that and instantly get hit with 3 of them and die, and then the game's over. So that should get fixed, but that is a thing that's happening right now.
One thing I also want to say about the boss zombies is, one, why does the Abomination heal itself? I don't understand why the fuck that needs to be a thing.
You mean the
amalgamation?
The amalgamation, yeah. I was like, why does it need to heal itself? I shoot it, it goes down in health, I got it halfway, I make a couple of laps, I come back, he's back to full health again. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I don't think he needs to heal. And 2, the Manglers never had a honing shot ever in any other game. Why the fuck is this thing locking onto me and then following me as I run in a circle?
Yeah. Curves and shit.
It literally turns as I turn. I'm like running from it, and I'll turn, and it'll be like, oop, just following you. And I'm like, what the fuck is that?
And when there's 6 of them, you like dodge one, and then the other 3 are following right behind your ass as you're dodging because they delayed the shots a little bit. So
I wouldn't mind I'm just gonna quickly say I wouldn't mind the amalgam's healing if it didn't already take so much to kill them, because like it gives you like an urgency of once you do that damage to like get on top of killing him, right? But like my problem is it takes so much damage and I have to shoot so much that as soon as I do see it heal, I'm just like, I'm not wasting. I'm just gonna keep killing all the zombies and run around and let that thing live. Like that's my problem with it.
Yeah, and once again, like even going back to the abomination, eventually you can't see the beam, and the beam is the thing that annoys me more than anything in this world because it just chunks the shit out of you. When you can't see the beam and you got two of them shooting at you, it's curtains. It's lights out. You're done. Like there was one I died in a solo game. I died in a game where if you were behind a car, the beam can't hit you, but it just lagged out and went through the car and fucked me up, and then I ended up dying. That pissed me off. But yeah, and that was one thing that Jay had said before this dropped. We were like, please, just no more boss spam. And not only did they
Cold War, remember when we played, it was so bad.
It was so
the Disciples,
I still think Cold War is a little worse, but
Cold War is definitely worse because like literally that game where we played on Mauer, you had the Disciples flying around, and they're also converting zombies into like those suicide bomber shits that would sprint at you and blow up. And then also you have the Panzers for no, like, why do we keep bringing back Panzers? I love Origins. Keep them on Origins. I don't need Panzers in every game because guess what? Those got brought back in Cold War. Those were in MW3 Zombies 2. Like, let's come up with some new ones. Let's come up with some new ones, please.
And the thing that's so frustrating about it is it was like...
And Manglers were on that map too,
and Manglers. And so it's like you had 4 years. That's what everybody keeps saying. Like, there's 4 years between round-based zombies. And like you said, in all the other Call of Duties, they would always just go based off the environment. You're in a random town in Virginia. Let's get some logging zombies. I don't know. They throw a log at you. This is just, it's not that great of an idea, but like, I'm just thinking off the top of my head. We're in a forest area. We're next to a gas station. Maybe we have a gas zombie. I don't fucking know, but you don't have to keep bringing the Mangler back every single time.
Why on Terminus? Why do we just not have just the amalgamation? Why do we also have to have the Mangler? Why do we need both?
And I don't think I'd be as mad with the amount of boss zombies if the regular zombies didn't have armor on them. But you have zombies that sometimes I will confuse very quickly for a brief second as a Mangler because it looks like one with the armor it's got on. If you were going to spawn this many and if you were going to make the guns basically useless after round 35, even on triple pack, which by the way, I just spent 50,000 points to get and it's still not doing a whole lot of damage, why not at least just make the zombies have no armor and then just leave the boss spam the way you have it? You got to balance it in a very specific way, but you can't have all of it together because it just doesn't make for a great experience unless you have a super weapon after a certain round. That's the biggest problem, I think. I keep saying everything's the biggest problem. There's some big problems. I think the biggest one at the end of the day has to be the points, though. I
will say, I wonder how the zombies' health scales compared to the zombies' armor, because like in the 40s, the triple pack sniper, like full max that I was using, was still one-shotting a lot of like regular zombies if you hit the headshot. But like as soon as they got armor, I needed like 3 shots just to take the armor off. Now, maybe I'm wrong. It's tough to tell when I'm like got a huge horde of zombies. Like I didn't get one aside and just test it out. But like, yeah, that's the thing. Like I found the armor scaling a lot more, not the regular zombies on the health. So I don't know. That's a weird thing too. But that's just kind of like a testament to your point where you were saying like, your guns don't do anything after 35. Some do to the regular zombies, but they all have armor. And then like that's where it gets difficult.
One thing I will say, too, in connection to Cold War, is Cold War, the boss spam was bearable because if you did get a super weapon, you were killing those things fast.
So fast,
like,
yeah.
You were like, the super weapon just
clapped them.
Yeah, just annihilates them. Whereas in this, it's like, I still got to unload a whole mag of a ray gun just to kill one boss zombie. And there's like 20 of those motherfuckers. I was like, there's no way that I'm going to go through all these. There's no way.
Yeah. And two, when you get to the high rounds with the super sprinters, good luck if you die and you don't have stamina because those dudes run faster than you do. So
yeah, and that was going to be on one of my good things that we'll get to here in a second. But if you add that in with all this other stuff, it is not a good thing because when I was spawning back with Jay in that one game, it was like the first thing I had to do was go to get my stamina up first, then go to the box and hope that I get the thrustodine just so I don't die. Because if you try to turn around and shoot, you're done. Now, obviously, there's some augments that can change that, and we'll get to that in a little bit as well. But at the end of the day, I feel like if somebody's trying to pick this game up at the base version of it, they should be able to at least try to survive and all that. Now, we got all the negative stuff out of the way. There is a lot of negative. There is a good amount of positive as well, though. And I think I want to start off here by talking about the maps. Now, I was a gigantic, I will say hand up, I was the biggest Liberty Balls hater of all time.
I want you to put the hand up on camera right now. Put it up.
Hand up. I was the biggest Liberty Balls hater, and night one, I was on a tirade about how much I thought the map sucked. I thought it was so ass. I was like, this is terrible. I don't care what you changed. I don't care what you did differently. This map sucks. That's a hand up. Since then, I have played about 20 straight games of Liberty Balls. I've only played Terminus, I think, 1 or 2 times. I've barely loaded into the map, and that's not anything against Terminus whatsoever. I've just been having so much fun on Liberty Falls. I love the map. Now, obviously, like we said, I think this goes more into gameplay. The wide open areas, it's a little frustrating, but I think that's more of a Cold War / BO6 thing, that there's just a lot of open areas in a lot of these games. But Liberty Falls really reminds me of a town. And I've seen a lot of like people on Twitter, and we'll get to those people as well, because there's some people spewing some shit on Twitter, good and bad, by the way. But Liberty Falls, a lot of people were saying, they were listing off like all the reasons why people love town, and they'd be like good, and then listing off all the things people hate about Liberty Falls, and they'd say bad. And I do think we've gotten some of that with Liberty Falls. It is like a town, and I think what the cool part about it is with town, when we were kids and we were younger playing town, it was a game that if you knew you didn't have a whole lot of time, or if you just wanted to put yourself in a smaller area, if you've played zombies for a long time and you wanted to challenge yourself a little bit, you'd throw yourself on town and deal with all the hurdles that it had coming your way, which was, it was a very small size, you had the lava everywhere, and for the most part, all you had was the box, and you could pack a punch, but you're running into lava, and it was like you're challenging yourself. I think Liberty Falls does that in a very good way. Now, obviously, some of the gameplay parts of Black Ops 6, you can't truly challenge yourself in a whole lot of ways, but I found ways to do it, and I found a lot of fun ways to do it on Liberty Falls. And this is without touching any of the Easter eggs, which, by the way, I should have said at the start of the pod, we have not touched any Easter eggs yet. We've been waiting on that. We just wanted to get fully immersed into the gameplay and figure out where we were at with all of the games. But Liberty Falls, man, I've had so much fun. There's like little things I found here and there accidentally that I'm sure lead into some sort of Easter egg and different things like that. But it's just been a great time. I can run around for hours. I've been having a lot of fun with the Dark Ops challenges on Liberty Falls. I really like what the map and what it brings. And when you put it into what it is, which was, this is a casual map for somebody who just wants to have a, zombies experience in, a short little small area, it does that job. And I think it does a great job of it. And I've been really enjoying it. Any of you guys want to talk about Liberty Falls?
I agree with what you're saying. I do think you are on a little bit of copium because, we talked about our map rankings and you started to talk about it like it was better than a lot of these old maps that I heavily disagree with the take you were having. But when I do compare it to Town or Nuke Town or like some of those old, like the side map, I think it's better than those. I'd rather play than those. I kind of put it in the category with 5, where it is like the secondary map, but it's a good blend of like full-fledged, but still more casual. Which 5's not really casual. 5's actually like hella hard, but you know what I mean? Like it's not like the big wide open main map that everybody's supposed to be playing like a Terminus is. It's a lot more casual. It's just kind of the side thing, and I think it accomplished its goal. So I think it's good. I still wish the atmosphere was different because I really don't feel like it'd be that hard to actually, just make the skybox like actually kind of scary or something, put the map at nighttime or something. I don't know. I feel like there's something you could have done to make it actually feel a little more terrifying. But the actual gameplay on it, like you said, if you just want to just play and not really think about stuff, I think it's fun.
I think it's a good, fun map. Like, I think it's just a map you get on. You have fun playing zombies, with your boys or by yourself for, an hour or so, and you clock out. I think it's not like it's not a map that's like, oh, this is one of the greatest maps of all time. You know what I mean? But it's a fun one to play. I played Terminus a few times, and that map is a lot more challenging, I feel like, and I feel like it's more like the hardcore one, whereas like this one would be like Liberty Falls would be more like Kino, where like Kino's relatively easy. Like you could run trains on that map all day. Like it's not very hard, and it's just kind of, it's there for a good time. Whereas like 5, like you were saying, is a little bit more difficult and it's a little bit more hardcore. And I feel like when you're playing in those kinds of maps, like it's much more difficult to like get down and get to it, which is what I feel like Terminus is. Those 2 maps I think are on like a good spectrum for that, but like Liberty Falls I feel like is a lot more fun to play than Terminus. Terminus just feels like, I don't know, there's just too much shit going on. I just don't understand, and unless you're running around like, I mean, one thing Terminus does have is like, I don't know if Liberty Falls has traps. Do they have traps on Liberty Falls?
It has some,
but
yeah.
they kind of suck.
They kind of suck.
ass.
Okay,
Yeah.
well the ones that are on. Oh, sorry.
The one
go
that I
ahead.
did on Liberty Falls, it's the one in Spawn, and it's like a dark ether field. And it was at the point I activated it was the point where we reached where like the optimization has gone to shit and you can't see the effects of stuff. So I don't know if I was missing something, but all that was happening was it would like slow the zombies down, and I was just like I couldn't sprint anymore through the field. And I don't know, it felt like it sucked.
Yeah. See, like the ones that are on Terminus, I feel like actually kill the zombies, which I feel like is a little bit more helpful than like the ones that are there on Liberty Falls. So I felt like some of that was a little bit better on Terminus than on Liberty Falls, but I feel like Liberty Falls is more of like a fun map, and I've been like watching a lot of videos on like the fun little Easter eggs that they have on Liberty Falls, and they have a shitload more of those on there than they do on Terminus. And I think that's what they kind of wanted the map to be. I kind of hope that they go more towards that route in the future, because I don't know if you guys have played a whole lot of Terminus yet, but it doesn't feel super great to play. I don't really enjoy it as much as I enjoy playing Liberty Falls.
I would say I feel the opposite. I like Terminus way more, actually.
Yeah, I like both. I enjoy both, and I've played a lot more Liberty Falls because it does feel like the more casual of the two. So I just been trying to level up some guns, get some camos here, try a couple different challenges here and there, and so it just feels like less daunting to jump into Liberty Falls to do that kind of stuff. And I've been wanting to like leave a lot of the Terminus stuff for when we try to do the Easter egg. So I kind of want to be a little bit more blind going into that map. Because I like, I'll be honest, I played it once and I already started like finding stuff. So I was like, I kind of want to wait, because I feel like every time I run around here, I start noticing stuff. So yeah. So anyway, but like I find both can be pretty casual. Like as much as we talked about with like the boss spams and everything like that, to get to those high rounds, like I played a Terminus game where like, I had the same thing. I found a spot to train, and getting to like round 30, 35 felt relatively easy. And then I just hopped in an exfil, and then same thing with Liberty Falls. Could kind of run that over and over again. I actually do enjoy it, because like what I also like about what I would say is a big positive thing is how many different, I guess, progression type things there are. Like I can grind camos, I can level up guns, I can do the challenges, there's the Easter egg. There's so much stuff that like I guess at least gives me replayability, where every time I go in I'm like, okay, what am I going to do this time? And the fact that there are certain things that are really strong, like the knife, like, it's really fun to go in and just try and see like how long you could last, like knifing only. So yeah, so those are a couple of things. I like, if we're specifically talking about the maps, I actually have been enjoying both of them. Like, even though that they do have some faults, I wouldn't put them as like my greatest maps of all time. I do think for like a launch, and maybe like when we play Terminus and I play it more, maybe I'll feel different. But I feel like for a launch, maybe one of the maps could have been more in depth. I actually think even more in depth than what Terminus is. I feel like the setup in Terminus is still pretty easy, right? Just hit the 3 generators, and then pack is pretty much open at that point. So, yeah.
Well, kind of. I would. The only counter I would say to that is, let's think about like all the launch maps we've ever had, like Kino and 5.
Yeah.
What was there really to do on Kino? You know,
That's when that was the second Zombies game.
Okay,
though, right?
Transit and Nuketown. What was there to
Transit
do on
isn't
that?
a very involved map. Transit's probably too involved. If
The
anything.
only involved part about it is the fact you have to ride the bus. Other than that, you just turn on power.
It had the whole Transit was the first time we got crafting ever created in a Black Ops game, and then the way power worked with the using the windmill. There was the shield. There was so much new stuff that came out with Transit.
I'm not saying there wasn't new stuff, but I'm saying in terms of you're saying the depth. I don't think that Terminus lacks any depth. Personally, I don't think you guys have actually. Wyatt's only played it once. I don't know how much you guys.
Yeah,
have played
hand
Terminus.
up.
Like I said, I haven't played it
I'm not
very
gonna say
often-
anything
very
about
much.
Terminus. I've only played
There
it once. I
is
think.
so much depth to Terminus. I've played it a good amount, and I've also watched a lot of videos when it comes to the side Easter eggs. I'm pretty sure actually Terminus has the most side Easter eggs any Zombies map has ever had, according to the devs. I
That's
think so.
fair. Like I said,
So
I said without doing the Easter egg, I said maybe my opinion would change. But it just felt like
I'm not even talking the main Easter egg. I'm just talking the side
there's
stuff.
a bunch of side
I
ones.
have avoided everything to the main one so far because I don't want to see it yet. So anyway, I do think there's a lot more on Terminus that maybe we just don't know about yet. For example, I saw one where, you know how Wyatt, you were saying on Liberty Falls you could break that door? In one of the caves, you can break one of the things in the cave. There's
I've
a
seen
little
that.
pirate deal, and you can do these challenges throughout the map to get this curse upon you that makes it so anytime you get hit, you lose 1,500 points, but also throughout the curse, you gain all these crazy effects. And there's a Dark Ops challenge where you have to get to round 40 with the curse and obtain a certain amount of points. Anyway, so I think there's a lot more to Terminus that we just don't know about yet.
Yeah, I would agree with that because that's the one I've definitely played the least, and I wasn't going to really say much on Terminus. I know Jay, you've played it a little bit more. Rich, did you have any thoughts on either of the maps? Your opinions on them?
I've played Terminus the most. I do like both of them. I'll probably start grinding Liberty Balls this weekend. Probably all day Saturday I'll sit down and play some Liberty Balls, but I've played Terminus I think the most. I played with Jayhawk, Jumba, and Brian.
The beef broth.
The beef stock guy.
The beef stock.
Beef stock Brian.
I don't understand. I found out about this later, Jumba, because I heard you say something about beef broth when we were playing our game. I had no idea he was just straight up leaving the game to go do beef broth.
He also
I said he
remember how you
disconnected because he had to go get beef.
Remember how you rejoined the game last
Yeah.
night, Wyatt? And I was
Yeah.
like, Brian couldn't figure that out. Brian told us there was no rejoin feature, as Jumbo was saying, I swear they added a rejoin feature, and Brian goes, I can't find it. I don't know. I don't
And then he
think
said,
there's one."
"Don't worry, I'm just gonna go make my broth or something."
Yeah.
That might have been what it was. He was so fixated on his broth that he just didn't want to rejoin the game. That'll go down in infamy. I think we never have Brian on the show, and we just talk about him as a lore item. He will
Yes.
be in the lore of this show as the guy who
beef broth
saves.
guy.
He saves our Easter egg run on
Makes
Shadows of
beef
Evil,
broth.
but also makes beef broth in the middle of a game. Richie literally said to me as we were getting ready to record, I called him beforehand. He's like, I will never play with him ever again. If I hear the word beef broth,
Well,
I'm
because
done.
dude, who's like, all right, boys, let's play some
Let's play
zombies. He's the
zombies.
one who initiated us playing zombies, and then he goes, by the way, every 30 minutes I have to leave. Can you guys just hold the zombie for a while? And it took him so long, he disconnected from the game. We're just running around with one zombie. What? How long is this gonna take, buddy?
If there's so many other games to play other than zombies to
Yeah.
do beef broth.
Bro, I just don't get the whole, hey guys, let's all play zombies. By the way, I know I'm the one that wants to do this, but I have to actually take care
have to
of
leave.
business. I have to
Every 30 minutes.
To be fair, it was the second day the game came out. I got the excitement. I want to get
but
in there too.
But hold on, Jumba. Every 30 minutes, I'd be like,
Every
dog,
30
just
minutes.
play solo or something.
You know the funny
I'm
thing? No, do you not remember when he goes, "Can we hold one?" But he's he said it as I killed the last zombie, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh come on, I gotta wait a full round now." It's like, what
gonna
do you
be-
Come on,
want me to
Jumbo, you
do,
messed
bro?
up my beef broth time. the fuck?
He
was like, what
literally
do you
he
want me
was
to do,
he
bro?
was like, hey, can we hold one? And then the round started. I was like, I was like, I don't know. I feel like Jayhawk is just tired of his shit. Maybe Jayhawk killed him.
No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It
No,
wasn't
I
Chumba.
literally knifed a
would've did it on
zombie,
purpose.
and I actually killed the zombie, but I don't know if you guys have noticed.
The
like,
round timer's delayed.
It turns over very slow, right? So I killed the zombie, and then he goes, "Can we hold it?" And then the round timer turned over. I was like, "Okay, bro." Like I killed that last zombie, and like 30 seconds went by. Then the round timer started, and you asked in between that little 30-second break, like.
Yeah, I would have killed him on purpose if he was like, "Hey, let's play zombies." But by the way, every 30 minutes, I'm going to go stir up my beef broth. I'm killing.
I'm just
I'm killing
wondering
the zombie.
if he
Every
came
time.
back, because he disconnected the moment he was sitting down in the chair. If he comes back there, we probably keep playing, we keep going. He's still alive. What would have happened 30 minutes later when he's got to go check on it again? Like, would he disconnect at that point when we're even
What are you
deeper in?
checking?
I
Isn't
don't
he
know.
just stir?
I don't know much about it, but I think you have to like skim off the stuff on the top, and you have to like throw it out. So that I don't know much about making beef
then
stock,
don't
but
play
that's
a
my
game of
assumption.
Don't play zombies then, Brian.
A 3-hour game.
I think he's just a part of the lore. I think we leave him as a part of the lore, and people just wonder how insane this man is. Because I mean, we've known him for years, but like Jumba and Jayhawk, this is their first experience. This is something he would have done too.
That's the
Like,
first
back
time
in
I've
the
ever
day.
gamed with Brian.
Yeah, this is how he
It
is.
will be
bro.
his last time gaming with Brian.
No, I wasn't that upset about it. I felt
just-
bad because I
I
didn't
just
have a
think it's a
spot to
wild
train that
move.
entire game.
It's a
'Cause that was-
wild move.
That was my first term in this game, and I didn't have a spot to train that entire game, and so I just kept running up to Jayhawk, and I was pretty much
Bro,
borderline
just
getting him
kept,
killed.
I'm running my train, and all of a sudden there's like 3 amalgamations that show up, and I'm like, and then I see Jumba run straight away.
Well, I
I'm
would
like,
let
what
him
the
know.
hell are you doing? Why
I
are
would
you
let
bringing him
I'd
over
say,
here?
Jay, I'm coming over here, and he'd be like, "Why?" I was like, "I actually don't know. I'm just kind of lost. I'm
Just
spending
go
too much
find
time
a
with Richie."
spot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then I hopped on the fucking boat and went over to the shipwreck, and as soon as I get to the shipwreck, Jayhawk's like, "I'm dead." I was like, "I can't get there now, man. I just drove away."
I blame the beef broth. Honestly, that's what I blame. I'm just gonna
Honestly,
blame that
yeah.
on everything.
Damn.
Richie,
yeah.
Richie, I don't know if you got your take off. I don't know if you were able to get your thing off, but
Basically, I'll go through and I'll play Liberty Balls again this weekend. It was fun, but I've just played a lot more Terminus right now, so I got to go back through and play some Liberty Balls.
okay. Okay, so we get the maps out of the way, and then we move on into. I want to get to some other positives here, and I think one that stands out to me is the challenges that you can do in these zombies games. Now, in the older versions of zombies, World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, even you could even say like Black Ops 3. In Black Ops 3, they had calling cards you could get, but the challenges weren't like, it wasn't expansive, right? Like there wasn't a whole lot you could do. You could buy some camos. There was like 5 zombie camos, and they were all disgusting. Like they were not very good unless you bought the version of what's it called? Zombie Chronicles. Then you could get those, but you didn't have to grind for them. You just got them. What I love about Black Ops 6 is the amount of challenges that are available to you. If you wanted to camo grind, you can go camo grind. If you want to do the Dark Ops challenges, which are pretty difficult, I'm not going to lie. Some of them are pretty difficult. You can go do the Dark Ops challenges. There's just a lot of different things that you can do and create and make. And it reminds me of Black Ops 4 when they added in the custom mutations where you can make, certain different, private lobbies and try to survive on classified on round 50, and you load in with nothing in there. Like there's challenges in this game mode. The other thing I really like about this version of zombies is the hordes are fucking huge. I love that. And now if that was the case and I could get points from these hordes, that would be even better. And if I didn't have to worry about a mangler shooting me straight up my asshole, that would also be nice. If I didn't have to worry about 12 manglers shooting me all over my body, that would also be great. But I just love the size and the amount of zombies that you're getting in these later rounds.
Can I say something on the
to me.
mangler point real quick and the massive hordes? I wish the mangler or the abomination didn't hurt the zombies because it messes up my horde. I'm like building a horde and the mangler knocks over the horde, or the the abomination cuts their fucking legs in half, and now I got 15 crawlers. I'm like, just leave the zombies alone. I don't know. Maybe I nitpick on some things, but I'm just like, leave my horde alone.
I think it's fair to nitpick, especially when it's brand new. I like, but at the end of the day, I do like that. The other thing I love that they've introduced into zombies is obviously we're old heads, and we're going to have some takes that maybe they've had to move past because the younger generation isn't going to like it as much. At first in Cold War, when you could mantle onto different things, I really didn't like it. I thought it was a little lame because and the zombies I know, there's nothing you could climb on. Like like you would see something and you'd think in multiplayer you could climb on it, and this one you can't. That's just the way it was. I do like the mantling effect. I just wish if you're going to add mantling, you might need to narrow out a few of these areas to make it, feel a little bit better. But I do like that. And I like that some of these maps feel a lot more wide open. There were areas of Liberty Falls that I didn't go to because I just naturally assumed, like my zombies brain was like, you can't go there. And then I would climb up and I'm walking around. Like when you're walking down the hill towards the Liberty lanes, you can crawl up onto the grass and then jump on top of the bus and then jump off again. I think a younger version of me would see that and be like, fuck yeah, that is so sick, because you have a huge, like I said, the giant horde of zombies. I love that they're so big, like the huge giant a mass of zombies coming your way, but then you can jump off of a grassy knoll onto the top of a bus and then down onto a street, run into a bowling alley. I think younger version of me would be like, that is awesome. I love seeing that. I think the visuals are great. I do agree with the fact that Terminus, though, does give that vibe that we've been looking for a long time. I think the vibe matches perfectly with what we're looking for Terminus. Not so much Liberty Falls, but I can get past that just because I like the map. But I do think the vibe is back. That's another thing I wanted to add. Did you guys have anything else to add on top of the positives?
I really like Melee Macchiato. I think it's pretty sick.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's not like, when we talk about like the core perks, it's not one of those where you're like, I have to get it. But I do think when we were playing last night, I had that plus like the triple packed knife, and I was demolishing hordes at like round 40. And so at some point it did start to fall off. And once it becomes like a 2-hit on zombies, it's not really worth doing. But as long as it's a 1-hit, and that's even without the fact that you can research the augment to make it even more powerful and do 1-hit for longer. So I like that just because it adds in the, like if you want to go for like a melee only build / run, you can. I mean, I know you did it with the Dark Ops challenge, but like that's actually somewhat of a viable strat to do where you don't have to actually use guns. You could just use your knife.
We talk about like the manglers and shit being bullet sponges. Like at those rounds, well, I guess I only went to round 26, but at the very least you can like 2-shot them with a knife, which is kind of cool. Like that's an option. Yeah. My point that I was going to say, and I was going to say this before when Jay, for some of the stuff Jay was saying, and I'm probably going to contradict the shit out of myself with what I was saying about the depth aspect, but I guess like the good thing about the way Terminus and even Liberty Falls is for the newer players, the people who aren't like into the Easter egg and that crazy setup. You can get into the game pretty easy and just play. You don't need to have like crazy knowledge. I mean, they do direct you how to like set that stuff up, but even if they didn't, it'd be pretty easy to understand how to turn on power and then turn on and then get the pack a punch and play. So I think that's a positive thing. Like if like more people are going to play it for that reason.
Another thing I wanted to add on to that too was the even though we haven't done a whole lot of them yet, we do have to mention the Easter eggs. The fact that there's so many little cute ones that you can just do whenever you want is funny. And then you log on to Twitter one day and you'll see a video pop up of a guy just knifing a vending machine and a ray gun pops out and you're just like, what the hell? Like there's little things everywhere that I think they've realized how great and awesome Easter eggs are for the community and how fun they are. And the fact that, people are always trying to find new ones and trying to figure them out. I think that's great. And the last thing I have that's really positive for me, especially when I talk about Black Ops 6 refining what Cold War was trying to be. In Cold War, I hated the fact that when you went into the game, you could just get all of the Ethereum or whatever it's called, and you could just upgrade every single perk, every single ammo mod, all of that stuff, and just have everything maxed out to the gills in a game that I felt like was already very easy. In this one, I like the fact that, once again, there's a grind factor on the augments. You can only equip one item, not an item for each individual section, one total item. That's all you can get, and you can research that just by playing the games. I like that because for me, that gives my zombies experience in Black Ops 6 a lot more lifetime. Like I'm going to be able to sit here and just to clear out all of the augments, it's going to take me a really long time to get all of that done because you're having to go like long rounds to get all of these things researched. So I really like that. I like the augment system as well too. I like the fact that instead of just being able to have every single thing attached to your Juggernog, you've got to pick two. And there's some options there. You can really kind of figure out where you want to go. Same thing for Melee Macchiato. Same thing for all the perks, ammo mods, all that. I like that there's two things that you can pick, one major, one minor, and you have to really grind for it. Because at the end of the day, like we said, this game can feel really easy. And imagine if there was nothing to grind for. I mean, we would barely touch it, I think, because there's a lot of just ease and not a whole lot there other than, you know, the grind factor of it. So I like that a lot. I think that's really great. And that's basically all I had for Black Ops 6. Boys, is there anything else we want to say before we get into our final thoughts? All good? Okay. I guess I'll lead it off. These are our overall final thoughts on BO6, where we stand with everything. I would say, in my humble opinion, I think Black Ops 6 sits a little bit above BO4 for me, so I would probably go Black Ops 3 is still the elite. I don't think you can make anything better than that. It's also weird, I think, in this game that it seems like there's a lot of callbacks to Black Ops 3. Like, there's a special skin for one of the characters that has a Black Ops 3 shirt on, so it's like they know and they understand how much the community loves Black Ops 3.
Well,
but there's still
they
some
call
factors.
back to all of them. I don't know if you've seen like the prestige tokens. A lot of them are like previous games. When you get first prestige, you unlock a character skin that's the knocked like original zombie. The cutscene that runs at you, you unlock a skin that's that zombie. So there's a ton of callbacks to all the old games.
Okay, I just saw the Black Ops 3 one, but overall, I would say I'd still have Black Ops 3, number one. I don't think you can really beat that, and I would probably have like Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 over this, but I would probably slate this right there behind Black Ops 2. I'd have this above Cold War for sure. I'd have this above Black Ops 4 for sure, and probably World at War as well, purely just because World at War was very buggy and there was a lot of things wrong with it at the time. If it was a little bit more refined, maybe I put that above. But I think it's a very solid zombie experience. I think there's some changes that they can make. And the one thing I can say about this more than Cold War is I feel like the community and they're listening to it. They're at least listening to it. What we saw with Liberty Falls was they saw that there was some problems and they made some changes. I'm very hopeful at the beginning of this cycle that we're going to get some changes that make this version of zombies a lot better and a lot overall greater experience for the zombies community. We're barely a week in. I think there's a lot of time left for them to make some changes, and I think they will make some changes. I think this game is a benchmark for them realizing that zombies has a gigantic community, and a lot of people really appreciate this game mode. And that's all you can really ask for at the end of the day. It's going to be really hard for them to change up some of the systems just because the game has Warzone now. Warzone has made a massive difference in the way that they had to create zombies because you can't just make an entirely different system. But I think they've done a decent job. There's some things I'd like to see changed, and there's some things that I really, really like. And overall, I think I'd slate it right there, smack dab in the middle. I'm going to keep playing it. I'm going to keep enjoying it. That's where I stand with Black Ops 6 at this point. I would say it's a solid, a little bit above mid. That'll be my ranking, a little bit above mid. Right there. That's where I got it. Jay, you want to hit yours?
Yeah, I would agree with the a little bit above mid. I would still take the old BO1, 2, and 3 above it. It sits right where I put Cold War. I think it improved on some of the stuff Cold War had. My main thing, I know we've talked about a lot of negatives. The only thing, if I could pick one thing to change, it would be the points per kill thing. Because of the way it impacts the later game, because of the way it impacts like replayability. Once all the dark ops and all the grind and the Easter eggs are all done for, you just kind of have the core gameplay. And I like the core gameplay up until we get to like round 50. And then after that, then that's where the points thing becomes a lot more of a problem, either because of the bullet sponge bosses or what have you. I don't know how they balance that, whether that be through the bosses, whether that be through the points. I don't know. I feel like there's a way to fix it, and like you said, they're listening, so I hope that does get somewhat addressed. I'm looking forward to the future maps because I do like both maps. I think they're both solid, and yeah, I know we've talked a lot of negative stuff, but honestly, I've very much enjoyed playing them, and I do want to keep playing them. So, and I'm very excited to do the Easter eggs because I feel like at least anything that we've learned through all of the Easter egg runs so far is I feel like when you do the Easter egg, you do have somewhat of a newfound appreciation for the map itself when you actually do all that stuff.
Jumba?
Mine will be much more short, just because it'd be regurgitating a lot of like what you guys said, a lot of similar thoughts about how I feel. But I will ultimately say I've dumped a lot of hours into playing these maps already solo, not even like doing it with the whole squad. And even when we went back and started doing the Easter eggs of the old games, I was only playing zombies a little bit outside of that. Like I wasn't going back to play that, and maybe that's just because I had like so much experience on it. But like if I'm going in and constantly playing and like excited, and it's kind of like all I'm thinking about, I just want to get in and keep grinding different things. That'd mean I'm liking the game. Maybe that's because it's fresh and I haven't played a zombies game since Black Ops 3, like on release. That is, maybe that's part of the reason. But you know, all in all, I do think the game. I'm having a ton of fun with it. Aside from everything that we talked about, that I know we had a lot of the negatives, but yeah.
One thing I was thinking while Jay was saying that was it would make a lot more sense to have boss spam if every bullet you shot on a boss gave you points. Like that might change my view of it, because then at least you'd be like, all right, well, it's annoying that there's a boss here, but if I know I'm shooting him, I can get points for it. Maybe that's a fix. I don't know if that does everything, but
not to go on
start.
too long of a tangent. I understand why they made the change, because like think back to the old Black Ops, like you did reach a point where points were not an issue. You had like 80k points and you have nothing to spend them on, and the only time they become valuable is if you went down and you just use all of them to reset. So I get that they don't want to have that, but I feel like there's got to be some way to meet in the middle of the two systems, because that system made it so that points became useless when we got to higher rounds. This system makes it so that points are so astronomically hard to come by that if you're not already set up, that you're screwed without them. And so I feel like there's just some way to meet in the middle that I feel like would be perfect.
Rich, you want to go on what your thoughts are?
Yeah, I'll just touch on it quick because Jayhawk brought up something with the points. My take on that is it's basically just an overcorrection. So realistically, that's the only thing I find wrong with this game so far. Is just the points per kill rather than points per bullet that you get, or that you used to get. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they actually drop in the near future. I'll kind of reserve my hard set opinions for then and actually see how it goes. But I mean, I do have hope for this game finally, and it seems like it's going to go in a good direction. So I'll just kind of wait and see.
And Kyle, you're the last one, man. How are you feeling?
Honestly, I'm gonna say I feel like the game overall is pretty mid for me. It feels like I mean, Jay said it a million times. It feels like Cold War DLC, and it feels like we got a lot of the same things. And I'm kind of hoping that they come out in a future update and maybe fix some stuff up. Maybe there's not as much boss spam, or maybe they fix it up to where we can get more points in some significant way. That's what I'm really hoping for. I enjoy the game, but once you get past a certain point, it feels kind of tedious. So I enjoy the zombies up until a certain point, and then it just feels kind of, I don't know, it just feels like there's something, like it bothers me after a certain point. But up until that point, I think it's really fun to get all set up and do everything. But once you get to like a certain point, it feels like it gets to a point where it's too difficult. Or it's not like too difficult, but it just seems like you're having to unload and then run to an ammo box, buy more ammo, unload again.
It's tedious.
Like, yeah, you just have to do the same thing over and over and over again. And that's just to accomplish one round, you know what I mean? And then you have to do the same thing all over again, which feels more difficult to just keep on doing in the later rounds.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the best admission you could give for how it feels in the later rounds right now, and hopefully they make some changes, and I think they will. I truthfully believe that this is the game where they're going to listen the most, because it seems like they've already been doing that. And so remember, a lot of times in the early days of Black Ops 3 as well, it felt weird. There was a lot of weird things going on. Now this is a little different because Black Ops 3 did have its own feel, whereas Black Ops 6 feels like Cold War. But there's still plenty of time left, and we've got a DLC map right before the new year. So plenty of time. Boys, I say we hit a quick ad, and then we can round this bad boy off with some fun. We got a draft for you guys, and this one's going to be a banger. So let's hit a quick ad and get into the draft. All right. Black Ops 6 is done, man. Black Ops 6 is done. We got all of our thoughts out of the way. It's time to get to the real stuff here, and it's the draft. And we already know that everybody here wants to win the draft. I think Jay has won the only draft, right? We only had one draft?
I won it. I won the... Well, no, one. Sorry. Yes. I thought you meant, but like, for some reason, I thought you meant the picks. I thought you meant the picks.
Oh, you meant like, yeah.
Who gets the order? I was like, what? I was like, I won that random...
No, Jay won the last draft.
Vote where we had 8 total votes. I won that shit.
He did.
Yeah, we got to make this draft... We got to make this more accessible for voters.
To be fair, I want to say we're at least, 5 out of the 8 votes, so...
Yeah. I mean,
well,
yeah.
none of us voted. None of us voted.
No, nobody votes. Rich, you're not supposed to vote.
I definitely voted, and so...
Did you vote for Jayhawk?
Did you vote for yourself?
Did you vote for me?
I voted for myself. Come on.
Hell yeah, that's what you got.
No, you're not supposed to vote for yourself.
Listen, bro, he's got to try and win. All right, he still didn't win.
Hey, if
Richie
you
had
cheating,
one
you
total
ain't trying.
It
It was myself.
What were the
was
votes?
him.
Out of the 8, what were the votes?
There was 8 votes. I had 4. Jumba had 2. Kyle had 1. Those are all the legitimate votes. Richie had voted for himself, and Wyatt had 0.
I'll take second.
I'll take the 0. Hand up. That's on me. You know, I'll come
took
back
the W,
this time.
but I remember saying on the second episode after we did this, when you only have 8 votes, it doesn't feel great. It feels like you won because of small sample size, and like 3 people had the opinion that you were good.
Well, if it makes you feel better, we actually only had 7 votes.
Correct.
There we go.
Yeah. So.
There we go. Hold on 1 second. The baby's crying. Caitlin's moving her.
I have the names in the generator ready to go.
Okay. All right, 1 second. She's walking out right now. She was making a star appearance. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so this week's draft, we are back with another draft. We took a break from them for a second, but now we are back. This one is very important to us all. We had a very late night, deep discussion about this, and then we realized, hey, we should stop. We should stop talking about this. We need to make this a draft. It is which perk machine would you bang? Very important, I know. I don't want to get too political. What?
Are we still doing fuck, kill, marry, or are we just
Yeah,
doing
I was going to get to that.
He's given the backstory
I was giving the
how we came to this.
Yeah. So that is what we are going to do. That's one of the draft things. There's 2 more. Okay. We also have which one would you kill and which one would you marry? It's a classic fuck, marry, kill. If you've ever been in any sort of grade school situation, these happen all the time. Okay. And we're going to do that right now. Fuck, marry, kill with the perk machines. Now we have them listed off. I think we all agreed that we're not going to do later versions, right? Or like you could pick your version, but it's not like I get to choose a Black Ops 2 Deadshot versus a...
Once Jug is off the table, Jug's off the table. If I've taken Jug, nobody can be like, well, you took BO3 Jug, I'm taking BO2 Jug. We're not doing that.
None of that.
You can clarify for the sake of your answer to convince the audience that this is a good pick. You can clarify which version if a different version helps you. But yeah, once Jug's off the table, Jug's off the table. That goes for all perks.
Okay, so we got the random number generator up, right, Jumba?
I have it.
Oh,
I've
you
got
have
all
it.
the
Jayhawk.
names.
Jayhawk's
And
got it.
I've got our names here. I'm going to click it 3 times. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and the draft order's been selected. Wyatt has the first overall pick.
Fuck.
Jumba has the second overall pick. I have the 3rd. Kyle has the 4th. Richie has the 5th.
Okay.
So Richie's got back-to-backs.
No bans
okay.
because there's only 15, right?
no bans.
No bans.
No bans. Okay.
Okay, so if I'm first, with the first overall pick of the Fuck, Marry, Kill perk machine draft, I'm going to pick my bang option. I'm going to pick the perk machine I'm going to bang, and I'm going to bang PhD Flopper.
You're a scumbag.
My
You're a
PhD Flopper
scumbag.
pick, it's got that nice little curve to it. I like the curve that it's got going for PhD. Also like the I just think it's got a real nice shape. think it's got a real
Can we
nice
just
shape.
acknowledge that you did not come up with this option yourself? Was it Kyle or was it Chris who in the call
Chris.
that night?
I think it was
Yeah,
Chris.
So the night we came up with the idea, we're just like, me, Wyatt, Chris, I think maybe Richie was there. I don't know. So there's a bunch of people there. But at some point we talk about the idea being solidified. And Chris is the one who was like, PhD got that hourglass going, and everybody was like, and so Wyatt did not come up with this originally.
Chris.
Just want to say
I did
that.
not. Hand up, but I'm still PhD hourglass figure. I'm going with PhD flop flop. That is going to be my bang pick. Who's second?
Jumba's second.
Okay, so I had a feeling because before this call I said, "Oh, easy pick on what the fuck is," right? And then you guys all agreed with me. You all said, "Yeah," but I wasn't in that late night call, so I didn't know. Now I thought there's a chance that they're thinking PhD. And funny enough, not being that late night call, I knew it was because of the fucking curve, the hourglass shape. So I had a feeling you guys were going to say that.
It was.
But I'm sorry. I'm going to go and pick my fuck as well. And I think you guys are sleeping on Melee Macchiato. That shit's got hands, bro.
It does have hands, but
It's
they
got
are wearing
hands.
gloves.
That
Jumba.
shit
It's got the
It
grippers.
doesn't matter.
Jumba,
It
does
they're
this
doesn't
wearing gloves,
matter.
Jumba.
Does
It
this
doesn't
mean Jumba
matter.
likes it rough?
I think so. I think
Maybe.
so.
Who doesn't
Also,
like a little bit of rough? You gotta have some fun there, right?
Gotta have some
I
fun.
just want to say, Melee Macchiato is very rectangular, so just everyone take that for what you will about what
I'll
Jumba's
give
into.
Jumba
That's
this.
all I'm saying.
I'll give
But
Jumba
it's
this.
got
It's bigger at the
hands.
bottom. It's bigger at the
True.
bottom.
Yeah,
It's
but
bigger at the bottom.
it's also
But
going
it's
to get you
got
through round
hands.
50. It's going to get you through round 50.
It'll get you through around 50. All right, Jumba's done. Next pick.
All right, it is me, third overall pick. I'm also going with who I'm banging, and it's in a similar vein to the PhD pick, and that is going to be another hourglass figure here. I think this is a little underrated.
Is.
We're going with Widow's Wine.
Oh yeah.
It's a great perk in itself. I think Widow's Wine might get a little wet and wild considering the way the effect works. You can picture what I'm saying there.
I was thinking, does it get a little sticky in there?
It gets real sticky.
Widow's
all right?
Wine was my second pick. Widow's Wine was
Yeah.
definitely my second pick.
Yeah, and if you look at Widow's Wine, definitely has a little bit of the curve going on the sides. So I like him curvy. So we're going with Widow's Wine.
Yeah. Okay.
After me is Kyle.
Well, you guys went all with your fucks, but
Yes.
I'm gonna go with the Mary because you get to bang them forever. So
Okay.
I'm going with Deadshot Daiquiri because I need some good head in my life. So I'm taking that.
To
That's
fuck?
that's
You're
my
marrying?
solid go. Yeah.
Okay.
Marrying. You said good
Deadshot
head in your life, but you're not
Daiquiri.
fucking it. You're
I
just
like
marrying
that,
it.
Kyle. I like that, Kyle. I like
The
that,
only
Kyle.
thing Kyle wants from a wife is head.
That's one of the checklists, I think.
It's on the checklist, he says. Richie, you have back-to-backs.
Yeah, thank God, because I kind of wanted to make sure I got some good solid picks. So with my first pick, I am also going to go with who I am choosing to fuck. I think you guys are trying to choose like, oh yeah, like this is going to be something that I enjoy. Mine's just a hardcore spite fuck. And it's going to be who's who.
Yeah. I love
Is
it.
Who's Who some sort of weird version of like jacking off though? Because like the way the
There's
perk
two
works
hands.
is you revive yourself. You know what I mean?
Hey, I'm good with it. It just
It's
it,
the
Three
machine.
hands?
No, it's the machine. We're not thinking about the perk effect. It's the
Who
machine.
knows Richie better
Yeah,
than
we
himself?
are doing the
you know?
machine. I'm just trying to think.
No, because Melee Macchiato's gonna kill me. You're gonna fucking blow up. Like I'm just gonna get launched like 15 feet backwards.
Who knows Richie better than himself?
I'm
you know?
just
Richie's.
yeah. It fucked me so many times. It's about time that I fuck it and I have a chance.
Yeah.
To be fair, Who's Who has like a very like human like it looks like it's got a
Who's
head
Who
and two
has-
arms like this. Like it looks like it's a
Who's got
human.
that big thing to grab onto in the
True.
front?
Yeah.
That like life raft
lifesaver.
on
Why
the
does it
front
have a
of it, yeah.
lifesaver? It literally is a person with a lifesaver on it. Yeah. So like
Yeah.
realistically, it's the most human-like shaped like vending machine.
It is built like a linebacker though.
Hey,
It is.
It don't even
Broad
matter.
It is.
Like I said, it's not for pleasure, baby. It's all for pain.
It's all spite.
All right, Richie, your second pick.
All right, second pick. I'm going to go with Mary. This is a hard one, but I think I'm going to go with probably just Juggernog.
Damn it.
Good pick. Good pick.
I mean,
Damn it.
that's self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Got the jugs, you know.
Got the jugs.
Oh,
Those are the
Jug, think of
jugs.
it like that.
Those
I
have the
thought about
jugs.
Jug because, like, when you think about reliability, who's there for you all the time, your number one go-to perk, it's Jug. It's
And-
Jug.
And
Yeah.
You know what
it's
I
got
mean?
the jugs.
And it's
Yeah,
got the
and it's got the
Jugs.
Got
jugs.
the jokes.
It
And
is
you need
always
that. You need
cracked
that.
me up
Credibility.
that playing with you guys, it is literally just built into your DNA to call it jugs. You do not call it jug or juggernog. It's always I got jugs.
Yep.
Yep,
Yep.
just
That's
jugs.
us. That's the boys. Okay, back to Kyle.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm going to take my fuck on this one. I'm going to go with stamina because we going all night long.
There you go. There you
I
go.
thought of that and I was like, that's a sleeper
That's a
pick.
good
Somebody's
pick.
gonna
Oh,
take that one,
nice.
I
That's a
bet.
Pick.
Yeah.
Shit.
That's a good
All
one.
right, you don't have to explain anymore. You don't have to
There you
explain
go.
anymore. Back to, was it Jumba?
Back to me.
Back
Now
to
back
you.
to me. I'm gonna go with my Mary, and you know this one's a special one for me because you know as a zombie veteran, when you're playing solo, there's only one perk that you want to have with you at all times, and that's gonna be Quick Revive.
There you go.
Me and Quick Revive, married at the hip. The moment you lose Quick Revive, you know that your life's probably over. I don't know if you can really survive without it. You don't want to keep going. You lose the will to fight. But I want to be married to Quick Revive forever. I just want to have it always with me so that I can stay alive.
I want to say the machine, though, is very short and stocky.
Yes, but that's okay because I'm going to be banging Widow's Wine on the side.
On the side, Kyle. It's all about what's on the side.
Just
Kyle.
so
the
everyone
side
knows
one.
too, the
It's the side
initial conception of the idea of banging the perk machine, I added on the caveat of you are cheating on your significant other with said perk machine.
Shout out.
Okay? And so that's also, I'm cheating on Quick Revive. I want to have the Quick Revive in my life. I love what they bring to me and the stability of the home life. But when it comes to the bedroom, we're getting sticky, you know?
Yeah,
That
we're getting
is-
sticky. We're getting sticky.
Fucking
Jumbo.
crazy. This is like a crazy sentiment. He's like, I want the stability, the like what this person brings to me, and
my rock.
none of the emotional other connection. You're like,
Yeah.
I am totally physical with someone else.
Anyone in my life outside of you boys is listening to this podcast, I want you to know this is purely hypothetical. This is not how I'm going to act
This
in real life.
this is not how he acts about his women, just his perk
No.
machine.
This
No,
is just
the
the
perk
perk machines.
machines.
This is
all
just
we
the
care
perk
about.
machines. Okay, back to you, Jumbo.
Fuck. I'm not gonna lie. We're getting to a point where this is tough. This is tough. Cause I'm like, who would I want to marry here? You know, I could go with a reliable one and then use the same sort of justification as Jay that I'm not like I'm banging Macchiato and that's got the hands, bro. So like I'm just
I just
trying to
imagine
think.
Jumba just likes it like getting choked or something, bro. Jumba,
Oh, maybe
the
like give me a
description
couple
of-
punches, bro.
Yeah, you know, Jumba likes to get physical. in
Jumbo,
there.
Well, the
I
real
really-
thing is, it's just
Jumba
like
wants a workout.
it's not just that. It's like where are you guys sticking your dick? Like if nowhere else, I'm putting it in the glove. I'm putting it in the glove. Like,
He
you know
knows
what I
that
mean?
Melee can take.
You could
Melee
have just.
Macchiato also actually, when you look at it, it has like a little like slot at the bottom.
I have
Yeah.
the photo up here. I looked at it. You
Yeah.
can grab the hands and then just.
Jumba's
go.
thought about how he's grabbing on and the pose and everything.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Just
I do
about
think
the position.
Macchiato would have been like a great wife though, because you could always have like a hug. Just the arms
No,
are out.
she'd be
you just
abusive.
hug.
She'd be abusive for sure.
Punch you.
Maybe. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's an abusive relationship.
She's always
That's
thinking that the head part has two guys fighting, so she is literally always thinking about fighting.
She's angry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that
Or,
makes
or
sense.
does
Okay.
that mean she's fucking other dudes?
That
Doesn't
could-
matter.
well, I
I'm not
mean,
married to her. That's why I fuck
No,
her.
there's no marriage.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly.
and he,
Okay, I'm gonna have to. You know what? I think I'm gonna go with my. Oh shit! I'm gonna go with my Mary, and I'm gonna marry Double Tap. because double tap just gives you that extra, that firepower, that boost that you need in life. Very like motivational, that confidence of what you need to achieve your goals. And I feel like you'd have a good relationship, you know, back and forth. Double tap 2.0 especially too.
You and double tap power couple.
Exactly.
There you go.
I'm surprised that nobody fucked double tap. You get to hit it
I
twice.
thought
also
about
thought
it.
that was a sleeper.
I thought
pick.
about
Yeah.
it.
Really?
I thought about it.
Because shit.
thought about
I
it.
did not
Come
expect.
twice. Come twice. Yeah.
I didn't expect anyone to bang melee macchiato, so I thought it was going to be double tap in place of the melee macchiato.
I thought
but Jumbo's
Macchiato-
explanation has convinced me.
Yeah,
It's
I thought
convinced me.
Macchiato was. I literally go, oh, there's one that you gotta pick for fucking. That's the first thing I said. You guys all
My
went.
mind
You guys all
immediately
said,
went
yeah.
to my mind immediately went to she would punch me, and I'm not into that. You know,
Yeah.
to each their own.
feel
To each
that.
their own.
But I mean, also none of you guys chose to spite fuck anything either.
No,
This
no
is true.
spite
This is
fucking.
true. I was gonna hopefully kill Husu, but anyway.
So I'm at a point where for a long time I've been looking at this board, and I was going to pick my wife based on I'm a short man, and I was going to pick a short
You are
queen.
a short man.
But then I started thinking about how funny it would be if I just did the complete opposite and I got something way bigger than me. I want you to picture family photos of me and my wife, and it's a
Oh, I
perk
know
machine
exactly
that's
what
just
you're going with.
fucking huge. It's just a way bigger machine than what it needed to be. And so I'm going to pick Vulturade. It's a big body. It's kind of oddly shaped. Imagine me in a picture on our wedding day. Imagine
Is it Mule
Vulturade
Kick big,
with
like the biggest one?
Mule Kick. It is, I think. Actually, I don't know. I think Vulturade's pretty big. Have you seen how
Vulturade
big
is
Vulturade
huge.
is? It's a big
Has
body.
broad shoulders too.
It's broad
Vulturade is-
shoulders. It's broad shoulders. And you
Thin
want to
waist,
talk about
very broad shoulder.
Yes.
I mean, you want to talk about the opposite of what I picked in PhD Flopper. It's my wife in Vulturade. The broadest shoulders, way bigger than me, way wider than me. I want you to just picture a veil on Vulturade and me like way further down in the photo, and just that being above our mantle. I can't stop laughing. That's the funniest thing I could picture. I mean, obviously, any of us marrying a machine would be a funny visual, but especially my short ass next to Vulturade would be the wildest visual. So I'm picking Vulturade as my wife. And then if I have to kill, I guess I would have to go ahead and kill something that I feel like you guys would pick, right? And I guess I would probably kill... No, everybody got married, right? Nobody's done a
Yep.
kill yet. Everybody's on their kill, so it doesn't even
Yeah.
really matter.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just kill Tombstone Soda, because fuck that perk. I hated Tombstone
Tombstone.
Soda. I hated Tombstone so much. That perk pissed me off so much. Fuck Tombstone. That rounds out my draft, boys. You guys still got your kills. Go
Yeah.
ahead with the next one. I think the next one was Jumba.
Tombstone's a good one because everyone hates Tombstone. I have one I'm going to kill, and I'll explain. This perk used to get me killed all the time when I was a kid. I fucking hated this perk. I never bought it.
Dude,
I'm
you're
mad
gonna
that this
steal
perk,
mine.
I'm
No.
mad that this perk got put onto fucking Knocked. This perk has
No,
always
Jumbo.
pissed me off. Yeah, I'm good. Which is surprising that you want this perk because I've never heard
It's
someone
the same
say.
reason.
I've never heard someone say they like this perk until you said it once. You told me to buy fucking Mule Kick. Fuck that shit. I remember.
Hold on.
Wait.
I tell you guys that because you always complain about running out of ammo.
No.
I don't buy that shit ever.
I don't care. You told. Like, I remember you saying once that it was good for some reason. No, I hate Mule Kick because I always remember I'm running around, I'm perfectly fine, and I need to switch weapons, and then to get to my wonder weapon to save my ass. Instead, I have to switch 2 times now, and I'm fucking dead. Fuck Mule Kick. That shit can die. Even on freaking Revelations when we were doing the Easter egg and we got a free perk from someone's gobblegum and I got Mule Kick. And do you know how much that shit pissed me off? I had a gun, full packed it, everything like that. I was set, and then all of a sudden I went down and I was like, where'd my third gun go? Oh, that's right. I don't have it anymore. There you go. I'm
Hand
killing
up.
that shit.
I'm a big Mule Kick guy, so I do like Mule Kick. That's me.
No.
I was like,
always-
please stop,
And,
guys.
There you go.
It
Well, then
always
you're the
seems
second
like,
person
too.
I've ever heard something say something positive with that perk.
It always seems like, too, with Mule Kick, it's always the wonder weapon that you had as your third gun every single time. It just happens that way almost every single time.
Well, fortunately, in the
okay.
Revelations run, I got that as my first. I got the wonder weapon literally first out of the box. So
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Jay, you're next.
Yeah. I also have to go with my kill, and there's only 15 options here, which means we're down to 3. One of these I can't kill because if I did, I know that all of you would call me out because I do love the perk, and that'd be Electric Cherry because I love Mob of the Dead, so I can't kill that one. I believe the other one available is Speed Cola, and I also like Speed Cola, so I can't get rid of that one. But I do have a reasoning here, okay? So I'm going to be killing Elemental Pop. It is from Cold War era, BO6. It's on that one, so it's if you're someone listening who hasn't played any of the more recent games, it's not on those games. Or it is on the recent games, not on the old games. Here's why I'm killing it. If you run Elemental Pop on Black Ops 6 and you are going for zombie camos, the Elemental Pop will steal your critical kill and you won't get the headshot because instead it will kill them with the elemental ability that it does. And also, I think it's a little annoying to go and be like, all right, I'm going to buy Brain Rot. And then every time you shoot your gun, you're not actually guaranteed to use the ammo mod that you intentionally purchased anymore. You're just getting a random one. I don't really know why it's actually a perk at all. Like it out of the BO6 perks, because you can buy all of them, that's the one I buy last because I already have the ammo mod that I want on my gun. And I don't feel like all the ammo mods are like amazing, so why would I want all of them? So for that reason, I am killing Elemental Pop because I think it's kind of useless and it actually hinders you when grinding for the zombie camos.
That's a good one also too because of the fact that like the ammo mods are very similar to like even what BO3 ammo mods are, and like and even though they're in this game, it's just weird that a perk, all it is basically just like it's just an ammo mod that we could have got in different ways playing Call of Duty. So, you know, I know like how you always talk about like reusing like assets, like you don't like a reused boss. The perk just feels redundant. So
it feels completely useless because it's like, why would I, if I want to use Deadwire, why would I then buy a perk where I can't actually guarantee the gun uses Deadwire? All of a sudden it's using the other ones, which luckily in BO6, they're not as OP as they were in BO3, but they're also, they don't have like the ones that are completely useless like BO3. Like some of the BO3 ones felt like garbage. Like I don't really care about fireworks, for example. So it doesn't have that effect, but yeah, I think Elemental Pop
Fireworks
is completely useless.
Was it Fireworks could clear out like a whole horde?
It could, but you didn't get points for it.
Oh yeah,
so
that's the only thing. Yeah,
because like Deadwire can kill a clear horde too, but you get points. So
but you don't get drops with
from it.
Deadwire, where I think you get it with you might get it with Fireworks. I don't know.
That's why you use the fire one because you get everything. Anyway, so yeah, I dislike Elemental Pop because I just think it's like you said, it's redundant, it's useless, and it hurts you. So anyway,
all right, Kyle.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I love Speed Cola too much, so Rich, I'm
Can't
sorry,
kill
but I can't kill it. And I don't. I like Electric Cherry, but not as much as I like Speed Cola. So I'm killing Electric Cherry. It's been a fun ride. We had a good time, but I'm gonna have to murder your ass. I'm sorry. You're done. You're out.
It's done. You're out.
I'm burying you 6 feet under in the desert. You know. I'm sorry. You're not gonna make it. You're 86th.
And Richie, that leaves you with Speed Cola. Would you like to give any words to Speed Cola?
Yeah, so clearly I'm emotionally unhinged, right? Because I'm spike fucking, but I'm married to a wonderful gal, and now I'm killing one of my best friends. So it kind of fits the theme. So in all honesty, I'm unhinged. I don't know what else to say, but fuck it, I'm here for the ride, you know?
I love it.
That's what I was gonna say.
That's a great way to look at it.
Richie could have, if he really wanted, he could have fucked Speed Cola, right? Which honestly, if we think about it again, if you get a little bit of like the perk sort of ability, like through the machine, like you're just going at like a rapid rate, not a bad choice. And then he could have killed who's who, but he decided to look like he said his best friend in the eyes and said, I have to kill you because I think it's better that I hate fuck this person rather than end their life. I think it's going to make me feel better to hate fuck them.
But see, here's the thing, is with all of my best friends, they would understand that. They would all understand that, and they would be okay with it.
Just
so
do
I
what
mean,
you need to. Do what you need to.
Yeah, it's you know, it is what it is.
All right, well, that rounds out the draft, ladies and gents. I'll run through mine real quick. We'll run through all the boys' picks. For my bang, I picked PhD Flop Flop, obviously the shape. That's going to be my trophy girlfriend. For my Mary, I went with Voltrade for the funny visual of my short ass standing next to that broad-shouldered, big-ass machine. I'm going to put that up above my mantle, up above the fireplace. It's going to look very awkward, but it's going to be funny as shit. And then I might kill Tombstone. I hate that perk. Tombstone is useless to me, and I feel like it actually could have been good, but there was just certain things left out. Also, it was on the worst map of all time. So that rounds out my draft. Second, that was Jumba.
So I'm fucking Macchiato. I think I've said enough. The hands. It's got the hands. I'm marrying Double Tap because of the, it's going to give me that boost, that extra power, that emotional support. It sounds like it's doing a lot for me. I don't know what I'm providing it at this point, but sure, I'll be selfish like that. And then I'm killing Mule Kick because fuck Mule Kick.
There we go. Jay, you were next.
Yeah, I'm going to be banging Widow's Wine, another hourglass shape. We're getting real sticky. I'm going to be marrying Quick Revive because when it's just me and Quick Revive, there's nothing I want more than that perk being in my life. And whenever they disappear, I have nothing to live for anymore. That's how tight our bond is, even though I'm cheating on them. And then I will be killing Elemental Pop because I think it's kind of useless and redundant.
That's crazy. When you put it like that, I'm killing it because it's useless and redundant. Jay's just like, this person's not worth it anymore. Bang.
And Richie already said his, so Kyle, you're the last one.
Last one. I'm going to marry Deadshot just because, great shape and wonderful head. That's what I need in my life. And then I'm going to fuck.
It's still crazy that's the reason you're marrying it is for the head.
You picture Mary.
Bro, she's going to blow your head off. That's what it's That's what's
Are you
gonna
talking
happen.
about the Black Ops 6 Deadshot? Is that why?
Yeah.
Oh, because I'm looking at the old
It has
Deadshot,
a
which just
skull.
has the old Deadshot has a martini glass on top of it, so I'm thinking you're fucking a cup. But like,
I was talking about the Black
that's
Ops
the
6
worst
one because
thing.
it
The
actually
new
has
one's
a
got
head.
the skull.
oh my god, I forgot about that. I've only bought it like once
Toothy
or twice
dome.
outside of the freaking the machine in that game.
So Kyle's just skull fucking his wife now.
Yes.
Exactly. And then going fucking stamina up because we got to go all night long. If I'm gonna be taking a break from the wife, we got to get over there, get wild for a little bit. And then I'm killing, unfortunately, Electric Cherry. But we had a good run while it lasted. Just blew his head off in the desert and then just left him there 6 feet under. So
There you
it
go.
is what it is.
There you go. All right, well, ladies and gents, that should just about do it for the draft, and that should just about do it for this week's episode of Pack a Pod. Ladies and gents, Black Ops 6, it has been a blast so far. Still, I feel like a lot of people will think we were mostly negative on that episode, but I actually really have fun on Black Ops 6, and I've been playing it nonstop. The boys can vouch for that. I've been having a great time. We do like the game. It's just that there are some things that I think as zombie players for such a long time, you just want to see change. And I think with the way they've listened to this community, I think we are going to get some changes coming forward. I'm confident on that. But overall, I think we've had a great time so far with Black Ops 6. I hope you guys have been having a great time in Black Ops 6 as well. And then throughout this entire run, we should be having some more episodes talking about some more of the augments, some things you want to run, as well as some other little Easter egg stuff that we're going to get into in the upcoming episode. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. We'll catch you guys soon for another episode of Pack a Pod. See ya.
See you.